CJ Flyer back with Fire, another YouTube video. Today, the Jrue Holiday trade just happened, and no, I'm not talking about the one that sent him to Portland. I'm talking about the one that sent him to Boston in exchange for Malcolm Brogdon and Time Lord himself, along with a couple draft picks. So now Portland has a pretty solid team lined up for a rebuild. They do have two starting worthy centers in DeAndre Ayton and Rob Williams. They claim they're going to keep them both for now, but we'll just have to see by the time we hit trade deadline. I'd imagine that one of these players might be on their way out the door, depending on how things pan out for the first half of the season. But that's besides the point. Today we're going to be rebuilding the Philadelphia 76ers. Obviously, with this Celtics trade today, this solidifies Boston and Milwaukee as the two top teams in the East, competing for the finals appearance, and things are not looking good for Philly right now. Embiid, let's be honest, he's on the hot seat. He put out a tweet today, a little bit cryptic. He said, you know, this offseason's been fun, and let's be honest, the Philadelphia 76ers, I don't think they're the ones having the fun offseason. Their big signings are Patrick Beverley, Mo Bamba, and Danny Green, which, you know, just look at the overall ratings here, and yeah, I mean, not very exciting at all. And of course, we have James Harden, who is requesting a trade, claims he'll never play for a team in which Daryl Morey is a part of ever again, and they still haven't traded him, and training camp is approaching, the start of the season's approaching. They need to get rid of him, so step aside, Daryl Morey. We're going to be coming in here and we're going to be taking control of the Philadelphia 76ers to see if we can compete with the Boston Celtics and Milwaukee Bucks in this first season here, 2023-2024, and going forward. So let's go ahead and do it. Now, I had thought about the perspective of, do we want to trade Embiid? Because we already know with the way things have been going recently, you know, Embiid hasn't put in a trade request yet, but we know that could be coming up. Is that something that we'd want to do now? Or is it something where we'd want to trade Embiid later? Now, with 3 years left on the contract, I think it's fair to say we could wait until a season or two. Let's just see right now what we can get for James Harden. So let's go ahead and go to the trade finder here, see what's available for James Harden. And right off the bat, we have a trade here for Chris Middleton and Brook Lopez. But with two other aging players, not really something we want in return for Harden. Let's see what else there is. So funny enough, Jrue Holiday is being made available by the Boston Celtics along with Derek White in exchange for James Harden and PJ Tucker. Again, I mean, it wouldn't be a bad trade. Is it going to put the Sixers in a win-now situation over Boston and Milwaukee? Probably not. So let's see what else we got. This one's a little bit interesting, getting a young Lauri Markkanen and John Collins. Again, I'm not super excited. I'm not sure that Lauri's got the potential to really play very well alongside of Joel Embiid. What we really need, especially with the way Daryl Morey has constructed the roster so far, is surround Embiid with ball handlers and especially shooters, and good ones at that. We don't need, you know, Daniel House and PJ Tucker and Danny Green as our primary shooters in the corner or on the wing. We need some guys that can do multiple things at once, not just shooting the ball. Now this trade is looking real juicy. We get a ball handler in exchange for James Harden in De'Aaron Fox, who's only 25 years old. You got Keegan Murray, who's only 23. He's got potential to really boost up his stats. Right now, you know, he's a power forward slash small forward. And he's definitely more of a stretch forward type player when he's put into power forward. At least he can play that way. If you watched any of the Kings playoff games against the Warriors this year, and just looking at the badges, yeah, he's got catch and shoot, he's got green machine, he's got Claymore, spot finder. Yeah, he's looking good here in his attributes. He's got a good three-point shot, like I said, 86.3. And if you look at the career stats from this rookie season of his, 12 points per game, and look at that three-point percentage, 41%. Looking good, so I'm thinking we might accept this trade offer. Let's go ahead and see what else is available. We have Jalen Brunson, Mitchell Robinson. Really anything with a center right now, not too intrigued. Wendell Carter Jr., not intrigued. Jamal Crawford, not bad. Or sorry, not Jamal Crawford, Jamal Murray. Yeah, you know, it's a good trade. It's good. Obviously, any of these in real life, I think the Sixers should you know, hit the button right away and go for it. CJ McCollum, not a bad pickup. Pascal Siakam, Not really who we're looking for to put aside or beside Embiid. Şengün, no, not looking for that. Bradley Beal, I mean, there was rumblings of Bradley Beal to the Sixers, I think like a year or two ago, and I wasn't too excited about it then, not too excited about it now. Anthony Edwards, that is a really good looking deal. This one's right up there for me with the Kings trade. Malcolm Brogdon, Robert Williams, not really. Klay Thompson, nah, not really. Kuzma, no. So that's about it. So I think the two trades that we should consider here, De'Aaron Fox and Keegan Murray, as well as Anthony Edwards and Mike Conley. Now, of course, we're thinking, win now type of situation, right? We want to be able to compete with Boston and Milwaukee. We want to keep Embiid happy, keep him in Philadelphia. So it's really down to, which of these trades do we think make the most sense? Now, getting Mike Conley in there, you got some playoff experience, of course, with the Memphis Grizzlies back in the day. Anthony Edwards, he's a young stud. He's got a lot of potential. He's already a great scorer right now. I think him and Embiid could fit well together. That being said, De'Aaron Fox, he's been playing very well as Sabonis. I could see him also playing very well with Embiid. And then you got Keegan Murray as like the stretch four, or a three, out on the perimeter open. So this one's a little bit tough. Obviously, from the stardom perspective, Edwards paired with Embiid is more exciting, but I think we're going to go ahead and run with this Fox and Keegan Murray trade here. And the Kings have accepted our offer. Looking at the roster now, we have Joel Embiid, De'Aaron Fox, Tyrese Maxey, Tobias Harris, Keegan Murray, Kelly Oubre Jr. as some of our top players. Now, Tyrese Maxey, don't get me wrong, I like him, but he's primarily a scorer that needs the ball in his hands at all time. Whereas a guy like De'Aaron Fox, if you look at his stats, I mean, he's averaging in the range of like 5 to 8 assists per game in the past few seasons. So, versus Maxey, if we look at his stats, and again, it's just, he's got the ball in his hands a lot, but he's mostly scoring the ball. He's not passing it quite as much. The assist numbers not quite as high. And I get he's a young guy with a lot of potential. But let's just go ahead in the trade finder. Let's see what we can find for De'Aaron Fox here, or not De'Aaron Fox, for Tyrese Maxey here. And this pairing of Tyrese Maxey and Tobias Harris for Chris Middleton, Brook Lopez, that one actually doesn't look too bad for a win now scenario. Zach LaVine, that's not too bad either, except for the fact that it's more offense and not as much defense. Desmond Bane, I like that one. That's a good pickup. Bam Adebayo, obviously a really great player. I don't think it's a good fit with Embiid. Miles Bridges, I know this is 2K, but in real life, a PR nightmare. Let's not go with that. Jalen Brunson probably would not pair well with De'Aaron Fox, so I'm going to pass on that one. Ooh, this one's really good. Michael Bridges and Cameron Johnson. Yeah, this kind of fits what we need here. There's another offer for Jamal Murray from the Nuggets. Bradley Beal. All right, so the best trade by far, in my opinion, is this one for Michael Bridges and Cameron Johnson. So let's go ahead and put that together. And Michael Bridges, of course, bringing the defense that Tyrese Maxey doesn't quite have. And Tobias Harris, I believe he's on an expiring. Let's go ahead and look at that contract. And yeah, he's an expiring deal. Not a bad player per se, but a lot of rumblings, a lot of rumors that he's on the way out the door anyways at the end of the season. Meanwhile, Cameron Johnson, he can come in here and contribute right away. And if we go ahead and look at his badges here just to get an idea of his play style, corner specialist, catch and shoot, Claymore, like I'm saying, surround him with some shooters. And then if we also look at maybe some of these, is there any defensive badges on him? Not quite. Let's go ahead and look at those career stats. And yeah, last year was a big year for him. His highest points per game with 15. And then again, shooting 40% from 3, 84% from the free throw line. Looking pretty good. And at a height of 6'8" nonetheless. So, all in all, pretty good trade here. We lock in some younger guys that can, stay with the team for a while. Tobias Harris, he's already 31 years old. He's on the decline as far as his skill level and his athletic ability. So a really good looking trade here. Let's go ahead and run with it. So now looking at this roster, you got Embiid at the 5. You got De'Aaron Fox running the point. You got Michael Bridges who can slide in at the 2 or the 3. Actually, looking at the roster that we have, I would go ahead and say we put Michael Bridges at the 2. We put Cameron Johnson at the 3 and Keegan Murray at the 4. So a very good starting 5 here. This is arguably somewhat good enough. I think this will be good enough to compete. Milwaukee, of course, I mean, they still got that crazy duo of Giannis and Dame. And yeah, I mean, yeah, this is going to be hard to build up something to compete with. The Celtics, I'm feeling pretty good about being competitive with the Celtics. It's just the Bucks still feel like they're a lot better right now. Let's go ahead. Let's just pop some of these guys in the trade finder, see if there's anything else we're missing. Maybe we can get a little bit more of a boost and see what we can put together. So after popping some of these players back in the trade finder, honestly, this is the best one I'm seeing. We got De'Aaron Fox and Jaden Springer for Jalen Brunson, Mitchell Robinson. Obviously, the total overall package value, the Knicks are giving away more value than what we're giving away in return. So, it's a good trade. It's just in the short term, I don't know. I like Brunson. I feel better about De'Aaron Fox. This one's really tough. And then Mitchell Robinson just doesn't really fit with the team. This is difficult. Let's go ahead and let's look at the numbers here. So 25 points per game last season. He's averaged roughly 20 to 25 in the last 4 seasons. And again, those assist numbers ranging from like 5 to 7, 5 to 8. And then if we go ahead and look at Brunson's numbers, last year with New York, it was the first year he averaged more than 20 per game. Of course, in Dallas, he didn't really get that opportunity until the playoffs when Luka was injured. So we have to keep that in mind. Similar assist numbers and good shooting stats. Yeah, I mean, he's got better 3-point stats than De'Aaron Fox. This one is tough, and I do have a soft spot for Brunson. Again, Mitchell Robinson, I mean, he'd be coming off the bench. He doesn't fit in a starting role, that is for sure. He would be the backup center, but pretty good for a backup center, right? Jaden Springer, don't really need him. It's his second year in the league, and he hasn't really gotten a chance to shine a whole lot, and I don't think that's unwarranted at all. I mean, his stats are not that good here for the 2K attributes, so I'm actually leaning towards this, even though personally, having De'Aaron Fox as the scorer versus Jalen Brunson, it's just kind of on the fence here, and obviously Fox is the younger player. But yeah, Brunson's got it's the better contract, right? And then you get Mitchell Robinson on top of that, and then we could try to flip Robinson and see. Let's go ahead. Let's run with it. Let's see what happens. Let's see if we can get something for Robinson. Why not? And right off the bat, putting Robinson in the trade finder, and we see Brook Lopez here, obviously an aging player, and in the long term, not a good deal, but in the short term, might not be too bad. D'Anthony Melton's good for the Sixers on defense, but then you got Malik Beasley, a good scorer. Here's another one. Buddy Hield's recently been in trade rumors for the Indiana Pacers. And this deal right here, you could have Buddy Hield coming off the bench as a scorer for the Sixers. Not too shabby. Now this trade I find pretty interesting. I put Michael Bridges into the trade finder, and we have a return of Desmond Bane and Marcus Smart. Just imagine having Marcus Smart and Patrick Beverley on the same team coming off the bench. I mean, that's just insane. And then we have Kelly Oubre going away. I don't really feel too high on Kelly Oubre. We're probably going to try to trade him later anyways. I'm just a little hesitant to pull the trigger on this because, I mean, it's Michael Bridges. Now, that being said, again, he had an incredible year last season with Brooklyn once he got traded there. Yeah, averaging 20 points per game combined between both teams. And yeah, he had some good stats. Meanwhile, on the other side of the coin, we got Desmond Bane, who also, 20 points per game. He's not as popular as Michael Bridges right now, I would say, but I mean, he's good. So this one's difficult, but I think I got to go with this one. I know this seems ridiculous. Like, we already put together a really great starting 5 with Embiid, Cameron Johnson, Keegan Murray, Michael Bridges, and De'Aaron Fox. But I'm just trying to pick up as much value as possible here. We're going nuts with these trades because short term, we want to get the dub against Milwaukee and Boston. And if we're going to compete with Milwaukee, we got to stack up some roster depth here. So let's go ahead and run with this trade. All right, we're revisiting Mitchell Robinson trades because, like I said, as nice as he is for a backup role, let's see if we can get some better value for him as far as like forwards, because Embiid's going to be taking most of the center minutes, and Mitchell Robinson has no business playing the power forward for this team. So let's just see if there is something in return that we can get. Kevin Huerter would not be bad, having another scorer, another shooter along the perimeter. That would be pretty nice. Markelle Fultz, not really, not what we're looking for here. Buddy Hield again would not be bad as well. So it really comes down to either do we take Kevin Huerter or do we take Buddy Hield. Now Kevin Huerter is more of a long-term solution here because he's got a few years left on the contract. Meanwhile, if we go ahead and look at Buddy's contract, I believe he's on the last year. Yep, that is correct. So 6 years on his bird years right now. So, he would be able to, the Philadelphia would be able to re-sign him to as much money as he wants. At age 31, though, it's, not really the best look. Now, as much as I like Buddy Hield, and he is a really good three-point shooter, if we go ahead and look at his stats, last year he had a great year shooting, but he has been known to be a little bit inefficient at times. And yeah, I mean, it's difficult. It's a hard call here. Kevin Huerter, of course, is the younger player and has the potential to possibly score even more. They average similar, amount of points. Their shooting percentages are similar, so it is a tough one. Now, Kevin Huerter is 6'7", and if we go ahead and look at Buddy, I believe, yep, he's 6'4", so a bit shorter. So as far as defense is concerned, that is what do we want to be looking at here. Buddy seems to have some pretty solid defense based on this skill graph. And then if we go back and look at Kevin Huerter, also has good defense. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go with the taller, younger player here in Kevin Huerter. We also get a second-round draft pick. Not that means a whole lot, but let's go ahead and go with this trade. All right, so now our starting five is Jalen Brunson, Desmond Bane. We got Cameron Johnson at the 3, Keegan Murray at the 4, and Joel Embiid at the 5, with Marcus Smart and Kevin Huerter coming off the bench, along with DeAnthony Melton and Paul Reed. Now, realistically, I like the starting five that we had before with, Michael Bridges and De'Aaron Fox. However, in the world of 2K and also just in terms of roster depth, obviously we have a lot more depth here. We have 2 players coming off the bench that could arguably be starters for a lot of other teams, Marcus Smart and Kevin Huerter here. And then, we have a little bit of depth. We have some guys that can provide us some minutes off the bench, maybe like 5 or 6 minutes here or there, and Patrick Beverley, Danny Green, Montrezl Harrell, Mo Bamba, he's there for the memes. Mo Bamba in the house. And speaking of house, we got Daniel House Jr. as well as someone that could come in case we have some injuries later down the road. So I think this is what we're going to run with here. Is it good enough to compete with Milwaukee? Hard to say. Honestly, the biggest issue really, and this would have been an issue with either Brunson or Fox, is having someone that can guard Damian Lillard. Now, Damian Lillard is always going to get his points, but, late game situations and whatnot, it's good to have a better defender. And Brunson obviously is not that good of a, well, according to his ratings here, he's a good defender, but, he's 6'2", he's quick and can be a little bit scrappy, but as far as like bodying up players, it's not going to work out. And contesting shots, again, he's shorter than the average point guard, so not going to help out a whole lot. But on the other hand, we have Desmond Bane here, who's a really good defender. We got Cameron Johnson, and we also have Keegan Murray. So not only is this team set up to compete for a finals appearance this year, but arguably moving forward, we have a lot of young guys still with a few years on the contract. If we go over here, Desmond Bane is set for the next few years, Jalen Brunson the next few years, Cameron Johnson for the next few years, Keegan Murray for the next few years. The payroll is going to be huge, but a lot of these guys, they're going to be sticking around for a while. So that's exactly what we're looking for here, looking for some good development. And even if the Sixers aren't able to make the finals with this team, hopefully in the future they are able to do so. So let's go ahead now. I think we're all set. I'm going to go ahead and save very quickly here in case something goes wrong. And let's go ahead and simulate. Let's go ahead and simulate to the trade deadline right now. All right, so Keegan Murray gets injured in the 3rd week of the season. We're going to have the CPU adjust the rotations for now. All right, so far off to a very good start for the season. 33 wins, 17 losses. Let's go ahead and look at the standings as they are right now. And let's also look at some of the player stats halfway through. So right now, Embiid averaging nearly 30 points per game, 13 rebounds, 1 steal, and approximately 2 blocks. And we got Brunson here with 19 points, Bane with 17, Herder off the bench with 15, Cameron Johnson with 12. Keegan Murray is hurt right now, out for the next 2 to 4 weeks. Ooh, with a concussion. That's not good. And then we got Marcus Smart coming off the bench, bringing in some points. And Patrick Beverley got a few minutes in there too, so that's nice. You know, a little spurt off the bench didn't hurt anyone. And yeah, looking good so far. If we go ahead and look at the conference standings as they are right now, we'll see that Philly is currently in 3rd. And wow, Milwaukee is currently 6th in the standings. Someone must have gotten injured. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. Let's look at their lineup, and nope. None of the starters appear to be injured, unless they got injured recently, or not recently, but earlier in the season. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. All right, Jay Crowder's out, so that must be what's hurting the record. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, interesting. So if we go ahead and look at recent games, looks like Dame's been playing in all of the games. Some of them he did play less than 30 minutes for whatever reason. But yeah, doesn't look like he hasn't been playing. The Bucks were on a huge win streak recently and then just lost to Phoenix by 4. So, it doesn't look like anyone's been out. So, interesting simulation here. Now, the Heat, I think after last season's playoff run, 2K has been, I don't want to say overrating them, but has definitely been giving them the benefit of the doubt. And wow, it looks like they traded for Clint Capella. Interesting move. Where is Jimmy Butler? Did they trade Jimmy Butler away? Oh no, he was there on the bench. I saw him. He's injured. Let's go ahead. Let's check the transaction report. Let's see what else has been happening in this simulation so far. All right, so Boban's on the Grizzlies. It looks like the Warriors traded for Zach Collins, swapping out Looney. The Suns traded Nurkic, finally decided, hey, we don't like him, and Westbrook is reunited with Durant in Phoenix. All right, so the Heat traded Duncan Robinson and a 2nd-round pick for Clint Capella. So now they have a duo of Clint Capella and Bam Adebayo in the front court. Very interesting move. And there's nothing else that really catches my attention a whole lot other than I don't know why the Lakers bothered signing Gabe Vincent if they're just going to trade him away right away afterwards, but it is what it is. All right, so I'm liking where things are so far. As we can see, we're getting a lot of chemistry boosts for all the players, so that's pretty nice. Let's go ahead and simulate the rest of the season. Oh, real quick, actually, let's go ahead and see, make sure there aren't any contract extensions that we need to be aware of. And it looks like no one is eligible, so good. Let's go ahead and simulate to the end of the season. All right, so I don't know what it is with 2K, but a lot of these simulations I've been doing for my NBA has Ja Morant winning the MVP. Sure, why not? Obviously, they must not be in the game that he's suspended for the first 20 games of the season for whatever reason, but it is what it is. Victor Wembanyama, of course, winning Rookie of the Year. Chris Paul winning 6th Man of the Year. That's pretty nice. Giannis winning Defensive Player of the Year. Naz Reid of Minnesota winning Most Improved. Clutch Player of the Year, Donovan Mitchell. And the Grizzlies Coach of the Year, Taylor Jenkins. Executive of the Year is for the Warriors. Let's go ahead and advance here, and it looks like Embiid made All-NBA first team, and no one for the All-NBA third team, no one for the All-NBA second or third team. And then on the defensive side, it looks like Embiid is not going to be on these defensive teams, unfortunately. All right, so the Sixers did go ahead and finish with the 3rd seed. The Cavaliers getting the number 1 seed in the East. Pretty surprising, I would say. I don't think anyone's really expecting that to happen this year. Granted, in 2K, they do have a lot of high overall players. Our main concern was the Boston Celtics and the Milwaukee Bucks, and it does look like both teams are below the 76ers in standings, so that is a good thing. The Celtics finishing with the 4th seed, and then the Bucks barely scraping by and avoiding the play-in. Not sure this is going to happen in real life. Looks like, with their starting 5, and then of course you got, look at these guys coming off the bench. They have some depth. So, pairing Dame and Giannis, I don't see it personally, but you never know. And then same with the Bulls. The fact that the Bulls are up here now, I think Lonzo Ball, technically he is injured, but I believe on the 2K roster he is free of injuries, so that might have some influence. But yeah, pretty surprised by this finish in the East nonetheless. And then we go over to the West, and the Los Angeles Lakers finishing with the #1 seed in the Western Conference. And then Portland making the playoffs and barely, just by one game, avoiding the play-in, securing the playoff spot at the 6th seed. And it looks like they haven't made any moves. They still have their guys. They kept Malcolm Brogdon. They got Scoot, Jeremy Grant, DeAndre Ayton, and Robert Williams as their top 5 players. Now, does that mean that they started both Ayton and Rob Williams? Let's go ahead and check that out going into the stats. And sure enough, just based on the minutes here, it looks like they might have played together. It's pretty hard to say. It looks like game started. Oh, yeah, actually, yeah, it looks like DeAndre Ayton came off the bench. He only started in 24 of the 81 games played. Robert Williams had a little bit of injury, but he played, he started 63 of the 77. So, yeah, I would say it looks like that Ayton was coming off the bench. Surprised he didn't get the 6th man award. He did get 15 points, nearly a double-double average off the bench. And, yeah, kind of surprised. But then again, he's probably in the running. So let's go ahead and back to the roster, the bracket here, excuse me. Let's go ahead and simulate the play-in and lock in those 8 and 7 seeds. So looks like over here on the West, again, Portland and Golden State matching up. That's got to be pretty exciting. Over in the Eastern Conference, oh goodness, the Milwaukee Bucks as the first matchup here. So let's go ahead and start simulating. Not really feeling, whoa, okay, won the first game, not too bad. I'm curious, let's look at this. Oh, look at that, Joel Embiid coming out and showing why he is a former MVP and can get it done. Meanwhile, wow, yeah, like I said, Dame and Giannis, that pairing is going to be insane in real life. Let's go ahead and simulate game 2. And it looks like Philly has won both at home, game 3. All right, it looks like the home teams got quite the advantage. The home team hasn't lost yet. And here we are, up 3-2, simulate through, and all right, perfect. Getting to the second round, passing up Milwaukee, beating them in 6 games. And let's see how each of these games went. So this is game 6, I believe. Yeah, Desmond Bane showing out, getting 32 points. Joel Embiid with 29 points and 20 rebounds. Damn, that is good. All right, and then, yeah, going through these, Joel Embiid, Kevin Huerter coming. Is this off the bench? This has to be off the bench. Cameron Johnson. Yeah, there's a lot of guys that can step up when needed, which is perfect. It's exactly what this team needs. And yeah, once again, look, Marcus Smart coming off the bench, getting 22 minutes and putting up some numbers, 11, 4, and 5. Yeah, liking this team, liking what we got going here. The Heat swept the Knicks in the first round, and this is who we're matched up against in the second round. So the first 2 games in Miami. Let's go ahead and first, let's simulate the rest of the round here. And looks like not really. Oh, wow, the Atlanta Hawks beat the Cleveland Cavaliers to get to the second round. That's exciting. Okay, let's go ahead and simulate the next game. Philly wins game 1. Philly wins game 2. Getting both of those in Miami and then winning game 3 at home and can't complete the sweep. All right, we're in trouble now. All right, good. And going ahead and winning game 6, avoiding a potential 3-0 bust. Let's go ahead and simulate the rest of this Lakers and Kings series. And it looks like the Lakers are going to go on and win in 7. So now in the Final 4, we have the Lakers and the Grizzlies over in the West, the 1 and the 2 seed. Meanwhile, in the East, things are a little chaotic like they were last season. And we have the 3 seed Philadelphia 76ers versus the 8 seed Atlanta Hawks. Simulating the first game, Philly wins game 1. And, all right, tied up 1-1. Philly up 2-1. Tied 2-2. This one's getting pretty intense. All right, 3-2. And Philly is going on to the NBA Finals. Let's go ahead and simulate the rest of the round. The Lakers are going to make it to the finals. LeBron James averaging the LeBron stat line, nearly 27, 7 and 7. So looking good going into his 21st season here. Desmond Bane is the Eastern Conference most valuable player with 23 points, 6.5 rebounds, 4.5 assists, shooting 48% from the field, 38% from 3. Okay, let's go ahead and proceed. And yeah, Lakers and 76ers. This used to be a good matchup back in what, like the 80s, I think? Yeah, so let's go ahead, simulate Sixers take game 1. Lakers tie it up 1-1. Lakers take game 3. Lakers taking game 4. And, ooh, do we have a little bit of a comeback here? Potentially. Nope. All right, Lakers win the finals in 7 games. Now, like I said, the goal of this really was to just make the finals, to be able to beat the Celtics, beat the Bucks, and win the Eastern Conference Finals. We were able to do that in one season. Unfortunately fallen flat on the finals appearance here. But nonetheless, I wouldn't think after this that Embiid would be requesting a trade if he had just made the finals. So feeling pretty good about that. LeBron James winning the most valuable player for the finals with 32 points, 8 rebounds, 9 assists, and a block in there and almost 1 steal. That's not too shabby. All right, let's go ahead and proceed to the next season. What we're going to do is we're going to go into, I don't think we have a draft pick. Let me go ahead and check. We might have our first overall pick. All right, looks like we have the 23rd pick in the draft. Not really too excited about that. So I think what we're going to do here is we're just going to simulate through the draft. Let's go ahead and see who retired. LeBron James wins the finals, wins finals MVP, and then says, peace out, I'm done. See y'all later. Man, that's insane. I love that for him. And then, Robin Lopez retiring, Nick Batum, Kevin Love. Okay, a lot of big names here on the retirees list. And wow, Seth Curry is only 33. That's a surprising one right there. Okay, let's go ahead, skip past all that. Let's go over to the staff retirement. Greg Popovich. All right, he's out. He's out for the count. Greg Popovich is done. He said, I've had enough of Victor Wembanyama after 1 year. And Hall of Fame inductees, of course, we got LeBron James, jersey retirements. Wow, okay, so, is this just for the Miami Heat? Okay, this isn't for the whole league, but the Heat retired jersey number 6, and then Cavs and Lakers retired 23. Kyle Lowry's number got retired, okay. Let's go ahead and go to, okay, we're gonna skip past all of this. We're gonna skip past the draft, and we're gonna go right into the rookie signings here, skip past all this. Okay, and we drafted Babacar Miller from, where's he from? The University of Florida State. So that's fine. We're going to go ahead and keep him. Looks like he may or may not have some potential. Let's just keep him on. Team and player options. Of course, we want to keep Keegan Murray. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And then it looks like Kawhi, Paul George, and Drew Holiday all declined their player options. OG Anunoby as well. And some other somewhat big names. Not really sure that we really have the cap space to do anything here, but let's just go ahead and see. Why not? Pretty sure we do not. Actually, if we go ahead and look at the front office here and see what we have going on, not in the cap holds. Really, if anything, we should be looking for some role players going into next season. Yeah, we're currently negative 55 million with salary cap space, negative 25 million deep in luxury tax. Yeah, we're not going to be making any moves, that's for sure. I think what we need to do, we're going to go ahead and simulate simulate through this. Okay, let's go ahead. Oh, do we want to? I don't want to renounce the rights. Are we not keeping these guys? Were these guys all expiring? I do think Patrick Beverley was on a 1-year contract. It would be nice if we could keep some of these guys, like keep D'Anthony Melton. I don't want to renounce these guys' rights just yet. Let's go ahead and hold on to them all for now. Funny enough, James Harden is back and available on the free agent market. Obviously, we're not going to be going for him. All right, we're going to go ahead and try to get some of our guys back. So affordable point guards, we have Patrick Beverley. Let's just see if we can get him to come back on a 1-year minimum deal. And D'Anthony Melton as well. I'm guessing, yeah, he's going to want more than just a minimum contract. However, we should be able to offer him this with the bird years. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so it looks like Melton is holding out, still waiting for some more offers. Patrick Beverly is willing to sign for a 1-year minimum deal. All these other guys, yeah, not interested in Mo Bamba right now, and Daniel House, and yeah, I mean, we don't really need any of these other guys right now. We will need a backup center for Embiid, but unless Embiid gets injured for a significant amount of time, it doesn't really matter. All right, so DeAnthony Melton is willing to sign for that 3-year deal, so that's where we're going to lock him in at. I was also able to get Joe Harris. I figure he's a better pickup than someone like Danny Green, so let's go ahead and sign them. And we've gone ahead and also added Reggie Bullock to the roster, a nice veteran presence that can shoot the three. Taking a look at our player progression, it looks like, Joel Embiid regressed a bit. Desmond Bane at 26-year-old regressed a bit. That's not a good look for us. I mean, he's still obviously dominant, but you don't like to see that. Keegan Murray going up 1 overall, DeAnthony Melton, Paul Reed going up, and then we have some of the older veteran players regressing. Okay, just to show you where some of the big names signed, Jrue Holiday came back to the Celtics for another season. Paul George back to the Clippers. Michael Bridges signed with the Memphis Grizzlies, and so did Buddy Hield. James Harden signed with the Charlotte Hornets and his teammates with LaMelo Ball. And Kawhi, after LeBron James left, has now signed with the Los Angeles Lakers. For anyone that is not a Lakers fan, this is probably the darkest timeline. But I mean, let's be honest, this is actually a pretty realistic scenario. I could totally see Kawhi Leonard leaving the Clippers to finally sign with LA if LeBron James ever retired. I mean, I could definitely see that. And Klay Thompson joins the San Antonio Spurs to be with Victor Wembanyama in the later half of his career. Not really feeling this move. DeMar DeRozan signing with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Okay, enough of this. Let's go ahead and simulate the season again. Okay, we're right up to the trade deadline, and it looks like we are currently at 37 wins, 14 losses. If we go ahead and check out the standings just quickly here before we simulate the rest of the season, Philly is currently the 1 seed in the East, followed by Cleveland, Miami, Orlando. Okay, interesting. Orlando's up there. And Boston, and where is Milwaukee? Oh my goodness, what is going on? Giannis and Dame are not injured. They're healthy. What is going on in Milwaukee right now? Oh my goodness. No way. How are they losing all of those games? They had to have been injured. Let's go ahead and take a look. I'm not seeing it. It doesn't look like they've been missing any games. If we go over to the recent games here, they've been playing. Well, that was definitely one of the most unlikely timelines of all time. So let's go ahead and simulate out the rest of the season. Actually, real quick, let's go ahead. I need to make sure we sign anyone with a contract extension needed. Looks like Brunson wants to test free agency, and you know what? I'm not really thrilled about that. Kevin Huerter will re-sign, so we'll go ahead and re-sign him. And then he's happily accepted the offer. Sounds good. Yeah, wow. So, one more. Marcus Smart. Totally forgot about him. Currently 30 years old. Let's go ahead and offer him the extension. He is also accepted. What the heck, Brunson? Come on, man. All right, let's go ahead. We're going to put Brunson in the trade finder, see what we can come up with here. It looks like we could go ahead if we wanted to. We could get De'Aaron Fox back. Let's go ahead and see how he did in the recent simulated season. Go ahead to his career stats, and took a bit of a hit in the points per game department. Took a little bit of a hit in the 3-point percentage department. I'm not feeling so good about that one. Meanwhile, Brunson, how did he do last season? Yeah, he had much better shooting splits. All right, you know what? It's go big or go home. We're gonna push through, I think. If we look at the rest of these options here, I'm not seeing a whole lot I'm really liking. Like, do we really want CJ McCollum and Russell Westbrook's on the Nets? Okay, that's an interesting one. But yeah, not really seeing a whole lot. I guess Brandon Ingram, but we don't need Valanciunas. He doesn't fit the team. Jaden Ivey's pretty nice. Actually, it's just unfortunate because I don't think Jaden Ivey's ready to take on the starting point guard of a championship contender. As much as I like him being a Purdue fan, I'm not sure how I'm feeling about this. This has me kind of iffy. Obviously, long term, this is the better move. If we go ahead and look at his contract, I believe, yeah, he's still got the 2 team option years. This is difficult. we're just going to risk it for the biscuit, all right? We're not going to re-sign him right now. We're going to hope that he wants to stay in free agency. We're just going to simulate to the end of the season and just roll with what we got. Okay, Ja Morant again winning the MVP. 2K giving him some love. We have Isaiah Collier as the Rookie of the Year. James Harden as the 6th man in Charlotte. Okay, getting 17 points per game, 7 assists. We have Evan Mobley, Defensive Player of the Year and Most Improved Player. And he had, 1 steal and 2 blocks per game. That's nice. And then Clutch Player of the Year, Ja Morant. Nick Nurse is the Coach of the Year for your Philadelphia 76ers with the best record in the Eastern Conference. And then the Cavaliers have the Executive of the Year, Joel Embiid on the All-NBA first team and also getting on the All-Defensive second team. So the final standings, it looks like Boston managed to get into a play-in position, and Milwaukee, what happened in Milwaukee? How did they fall apart like this? This is insane. I cannot believe this. 2K, you need to work on your simulation. I mean, there's just no way. I mean, they have some decent roster depth too. It's not like they have a bunch of chumps off the bench. You know, you got Robert Covington, Pat Connaughton, Bobby Portis Jr., like, you got some decent players, and I mean, I guess you also have some scrubs, but still, your starting lineup has Dame and Giannis, and you still got Chris Middleton and Brook Lopez too. Again, it's not like it's just a bunch of chumps. Really surprised that they fell back that far. Meanwhile, Orlando got a playoff spot. Now, I guess they did pick up Lonzo Ball in the offseason, so that's pretty good. I guess I'm just not taking into account all the overalls and players progressing. Do we really think Austin Reeves signed with the Magic? Missed that one. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just a little bit surprised that this is how things turned out here. Toronto also getting into a play-in spot. It just baffles me that, you know, Milwaukee was not able to even get in a play-in. Meanwhile, over on the other side in the West, the Lakers missed the play-in. Oh man. Wow. The most unlikely of outcomes. I mean, yeah, a lot of the players on this roster, like DeLon Wright, Josh Richardson, not feeling so great about them being starters, but you got Kawhi, you got Jared Vanderbilt, you got Anthony Davis, you got Bogdanovich. He's good off the bench. Wow, yeah, they do have a lot of bench players filling out the roster, so I guess I shouldn't be that surprised. Especially because, let's be honest, Kawhi probably pulled some kind of load management stunt, probably didn't play a lot. Clippers also missed the playoffs. The Spurs are just not doing so hot, even though Victor Wembanyama is continuing to progress. And the Trailblazers are showing everyone why they are winning that Milwaukee trade with Damian Lillard. That's insane. Very insane. All right, let's go ahead and simulate the play-in. And the first round matchup is going to be Boston. Very fitting for this video. So let's go ahead and start simulating the games here. All right, up 2-0 so far to start the series, winning both the first 2 games at home, up 3-0. Can we get the 4-0 sweep? Yes, we can. Let's go ahead and simulate the rest of the round. Next matchup is against the Charlotte Hornets in the conference semifinals with that James Harden. Who else is on that roster? Let's go ahead and check that out. We got Terry Rozier still there, Brandon Miller, Draymond Green signed with the Charlotte Hornets, Nick Richards. Yeah, most of the same roster, so honestly, we should be able to get the dub here. Let's go ahead and start simulating. Oh my goodness, Charlotte won game 1. Oh no. All right. And this is the revenge game. This is revenge series, I should say, going up against James Harden here. And going up 3-2, going into game 6. It is a 7-game series against Charlotte. I cannot believe this. Okay, let's go ahead. We're going to simulate with SimCast here. And let's get going. Let's get started. Speed this up a bit. It is neck and neck. Oh no. Charlotte they've pulled away a little bit here. Not looking good. Not looking good. Oh, starting to make a comeback. Oh my goodness. No. Okay, how do I stop? Stop. Down 5 with 15 seconds left. There's no way. I mean, we could jump in, but yeah, really, there's no way. There's no way. Yep. Sixers have been eliminated. Unbelievable. The Charlotte Hornets pulling the unlikely comeback and winning this series. And James Harden getting his revenge on the Philadelphia 76ers. Wow. That is something else. Okay, let's see how James Harden did that series, actually. Let's go ahead and view box score here. And James Harden with 23 and 9 assists in Game 7. Let's go ahead, Game 1. Yeah, wow, Brandon Miller is balling out for them. That's incredible. James Harden didn't do anything in Game 2. Game 3, he didn't really do a whole lot either. So yeah, he is starting to regress. He's not contributing as much, but hey, they got the job done. Good for them. Let's go ahead and simulate. Wow, the Houston Rockets. Man, the Houston Rockets are starting to make moves now too. Let's simulate the rest of the playoffs here. All right, Western Conference MVP, John Morant. Eastern Conference MVP, LaMelo Ball. No surprise. Let's go ahead and simulate the rest here. And the Houston Rockets win the NBA Finals. Şengün winning the MVP, getting 16 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, and a block. An all-around stat line looking pretty good. And I think we're going to end our simulation there. Let's look at the retired players. Chris Paul, Al Horford, Derrick Rose. Yeah, names that honestly aren't surprising. Patrick Beverley is like, all right, I'm out. We lost. I'm not playing anymore. I've had my fun. Made a finals appearance. We're all good. And yeah, I think that's where we're gonna stop things here. Let's look at the roster. Although a lot of players did progress. One more run, one more year. Yeah, let's go one more year. Why not? Why not? Let's see if we can get Embiid the finals appearance. Not the finals appearance. Let's see if we can get him the finals. Get him to win the finals. Hall of Fame inductees, Chris Paul. Yeah, sure. Okay, yep. Chris Paul. Number retired with the Clippers. We're going to skip the draft once again, go straight into the rookie signing. We do not care about the draft. We don't have that good of a draft pick. Yeah, we don't even have, we didn't even draft anyone. All right, team and player options. And as we knew was going to happen, Jalen Brunson declined the player option. We got Keegan Murray for another year, so that's nice. And Giannis also declined. Tatum declined. Now, this all doesn't matter because we can't overextend ourselves with these guys. Really, we just have to fight to keep Brunson. That's the only hope that we have. So let's go there. Yeah, we'll keep this guy. Sounds good to me. Let's go to the moratorium period and go down to Brunson. And actually, let's see what kind of offers he's getting right now. The Grizzlies offering him only a 1-year deal. Okay, yeah, we can definitely beat that. We'll offer him 5 years. We'll give him what he wants. Let's move forward, and Brunson has agreed to stay on. So let's go ahead and move forward with that. Skip forward, skip forward. So we got the squad back together. Now, what we do need still is a backup center. And then besides that, I think that's pretty much the roster. Although we do only have 11 players on the roster right now, so we're just going to need to sign a bunch of guys, a bunch of role players. All right, so the players we ended up signing were Larry Nance Jr. as the backup center, Terrence Mann as a backup guard. We have TJ McConnell, the return to Philadelphia, coming in off the bench. We got Reggie Bullock still here, Montrezl Harrell making a return. And yeah, that's what we're looking at for this roster. All in all, looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and simulate to the player progression here through the rest of free agency. Be curious to see where Giannis and some of those other players signed. And yeah, Embiid continues to regress a bit. Some of the other players continuing to regress a bit. Unfortunately, Terrence Mann going up in an overall. Yeah, a lot of regression over progression. Not what you want to see. But all in all, the roster's still looking pretty good. Let's go ahead. Giannis looks like he has returned to the Bucks. The Bulls signed Donovan Mitchell. That is a big get for them. Clippers signed Julius Randle. Şengün, the finals MVP, signing with the Memphis Grizzlies in the offseason. Lonzo Ball going to Atlanta. Tatum going to Miami. Oh my goodness, this is going to give Boston fans a heart attack. No way that's happening. And TJ Warren. Oh man, that's awful though. Tatum going to the Celtics. That's the darkest timeline for Celtics fans. Jimmy Butler signing in Orlando, staying in the state of Florida. Must really like it there. The Brooklyn Nets signing Jalen Green after the Rockets made it to the finals. Lauri Markkanen signing with the Pacers. Nick Claxton to the Pistons. Dinwiddie the return to the Pistons. Spurs signing Vujacic. That doesn't really make much sense to me, but good for them. Oh, they got Cooper Flagg too. Oh my goodness. Well, they got a good young team, that's for sure. The Suns got Karl Anthony Towns to go with Durant and Devin Booker. Yeah, their championship aspirations have really fallen off. Bradley Beal, later in his career, signing with the Minnesota Timberwolves. And the Trailblazers just continue to progress and get better. They're two young guys here, Scoot Henderson and Shaedon Sharpe. Of course, also Anthony Simons, can't forget about him. Good look on the roster here. Oh, and DeAndre Ayton, he is injured. Ooh, out for the season. That's rough. Brook Lopez with the Warriors. Okay, enough of this. Oh, wow, Giddey signed with the Wizards. What the heck? All right. Enough of this. Let's go ahead. Let's simulate to the next season. Okay, right off the bat, I'm going to see if there's any players that we need to extend their contracts, but otherwise we're just going to simulate straight to the end this time. And it looks like the only player that we can re-sign is Cam Johnson, or extend, excuse me. The only player we can extend their contract is Cameron Johnson. He wants to test free agency, so we're just going to let that be, simulate to the end of the season. Okay, finishing off the season, and I got to be honest, but safe to say, this team's fallen off. We'll see the record in a minute, but Shai Gilgeous-Alexander getting MVP. We got Cooper Flagg, Rookie of the Year. Amin Thompson, Sixth Man of the Year. Evan Mobley, Defensive Player of the Year. Stephon Cassell with the Most Improved. Shai getting Clutch Player of the Year. Monty Williams, the Pistons, finishing #1 in the East. And that kind of just points towards, you know, what happened here. So I highly doubt, yeah, Embiid got to All-NBA second team, not even first team this time. And yeah, fatigue, exhausted, no doubt at all. Not really surprised on that. He did get all defensive first team. I'm surprised by that considering the last 2 years he did not get that award. And let's just go ahead and let's see if we even made the playoffs. That's how bad this simulation went. So wow, looks like Pistons with the first seed, Magic with the second, Pacers with the third. Who do the Magic have again? Anthony Black becoming the starting point guard, Austin Reeves, Jimmy Butler. That's right, they have Jimmy Butler. Okay, and wow, and it looks like Franz Wagner and yeah, oh my gosh, yeah, they have some good players off the bench. Mo Bamba, the return to Orlando. Oh, that's funny. Okay, yeah, so not good looks at all. Did James Harden stay with Charlotte? It looks like he did not. Where did he go? Did he retire? I wonder where James Harden went, but he is not sticking around in Charlotte. And Philly, oh my gosh, we managed to get into the 10th spot. I'm not sure. Someone must be injured, I'm convinced. Because otherwise, I don't know how this team fell off so much. I mean, really, I feel like we added some good pieces in the offseason, and Terrence Mann, TJ McConnell, and Larry Nance Jr. I'm really not seeing it. Let's go ahead and just take a look. Okay, Cameron Johnson's injured, but other than that, did everyone play all of their games? Let's go ahead, go to the stats, player stats here, and yeah, I mean, everyone played. Cameron Johnson didn't play every game. DeAnthony Melton didn't play every game, but other than that, I mean, I don't see where things fell off, to be honest with you. Embiid averaging 23 and 12, Brunson with 19, Bane with 18, Herder, all supporting cast. I mean, yeah, pretty surprising. So let's go over to the play-in. We're playing Toronto here. Could this be the first play-in team to make it to the finals? Wait, that's not true. Sorry, the Heat are the first play-in team to make the finals. Can we be the first play-in team to win the finals? Let's just try to get out of the play-in first. So simulate through the game, and well, for talking a big talk, that was very disappointing. Okay, so the Sixers are out. Let's just finish simulating this playoff series and just call it. We're calling the video after this. I'm sorry, Philly, but yeah, okay. The Thunder get the Western Conference MVP with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Paolo getting the Eastern MVP. Spurs managed to make it to the Western Conference Finals with a weird roster. I mean, just to put it honestly, this is a weird roster to make it this far. But hey, you know what? Good for them. Proud of them. Let's go ahead and simulate, and the Orlando Magic with Jimmy Butler winning the NBA Finals. Hope you all enjoyed this video. It looks like, you know, we were able to at least make a finals appearance, and nonetheless making it ahead of the Boston Celtics and the Milwaukee Bucks, who completely fell off. Not really sure what happened with the Bucks. As far as the Celtics losing Tatum to the Heat, that is a huge blow to them emotionally as well. So hope you all enjoyed the video. Like it and subscribe if you did, and stay tuned for more rebuild videos. See you all in the next one.